Hi there folks. In this video we're going to have a look at some rather unusually packed ammunition. We always refer to this stuff as jungle packed, which is kind of an odd thing to call it when you're from Canada, because this stuff is, to the best of my knowledge, this is Canadian produced ammunition from the 1960s. It is probably head stamped DA for Dominion Arsenals. So this stuff is not exactly as it came out of the factory. You can see that there are some tabs here which have been left behind from the remains of a strap. So this would have been a bandolier meant to be slung around your shoulders. Yeah, somebody cut the bandoliers or the strap section off for, I guess, probably for convenience of packing it away in a box. So these bandoliers contained 60 rounds. So there's 10 rounds on stripper clips or chargers in each of these individual vinyl packages. And they are spaced out, so there's like 2 packages, there's a bigger space, 2 more packages, and then another. So you've got these vinyl, plasticky vinyl, rubbery packets, and they have got a pull tab on the top. The back side of these is a vinyl, basically just a vinyl material, and if you can see it right there on the vinyl, on the rubbery vinyl pull tab, it says up. So these are meant to be just sort of pulled apart to access the rounds. So as you can imagine, this would be quite a weatherproof style of packaging. You could drop this in the water or in the mud and it would keep the ammunition clean and dry until you were going to use it. So Canada was using the FN C1 and C2 rifles, and they had provision for charger loading from the top. Basically, the top cover on a Canadian rifle had a short dust cover and a charger bridge guide added to it, so you could top up your FN rifle with chargers. You didn't even have to use a separate tool to do that. Anyway, let's have a look at what's inside these. We'll open up one of these and see how the contents fared over the years. Alright, there's your first look at this stuff. This is pretty common. Over the years I've seen a lot of this stuff, and it usually gets kind of green and weathered where it's in contact with the vinyl. There's probably a little bit of a acidic reaction between the brass and the vinyl. Sometimes the ammo will end up being kind of sticky to the touch. So we've got a 5-round charger there, Parkerized steel charger, and another one behind it. And the stuff that's behind has fared a little bit better without having come in contact directly with the vinyl. It hasn't gotten that as much of that corrosion on it. And then we've got a waxed paper kind of a liner inside there. Let's have a look at the individual rounds. So like I said, 5-round chargers. So basically each of these 2 separate packets would fill your 1 mag for your FNC1. Let's have a look at the head stamp of this stuff. So you're seeing this for the first time just like I am. This is DA65, so 1965. You can see the little circle in a cross mark there. That is a Nato standard acceptance mark. So I've heard people say, oh, that means it's target shooting ammunition because that's like a crosshair, but no, that's the Nato compass basically stylized into a head stamp figure. So we've got a well-sealed primer there. There's some sealant around the primer. And this would be a 147 grain full metal jacket boat tail bullet, which was the standard load for Canadian produced ammo. Brass cased, non-corrosive, boxer primed. The primers in these are crimped in pretty severely. This older ammo tends to be pretty good accurate stuff. The machinery it was being made on was quite fresh and new at the time. Later on it got to be less accurate because the machinery was getting worn out, but this early stuff tends to shoot pretty well. So this is a look at the stuff that was in contact with the vinyl. You can see this sort of a sticky residue on it there. Some of it actually comes off on your fingers. It's not really a big deal. It doesn't seem to hurt the function of the cartridges any. They seem to work just fine as they are. Anyway, there you have it. Just a look at some sort of quirky packaging. Packaging is actually kind of more interesting than the actual ammo itself. Used to see this ammo around more often years ago. They used to issue it to the Dominion of Canada Rifle Associations. They used to be issued this stuff for their target rifle use, and that hasn't happened for quite a long time. So somebody probably got that by that route, I would expect. Anyway, I don't know if we're going to get a chance to shoot any of this stuff or not. We'll see. I'm not sure how much of it he has. This is basically, like I said, just an example of some unusual packaging, and you can see the military influence there of the Canadian Army, having seen service in World War I, II, and Korea. They were pretty keen on keeping their ammunition clean and dry for field use. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll talk to you in the next one.